Hey everyone, it's me Loz, and I've come back to do a full moon reading. So tonight is going to be the full moon in Scorpio, as well as being a lunar eclipse. Both of these energies combined can be rather significant, very intense. Eclipses usually foretell of something that will elicit a lot of transformation and change, as is Scorpio as well. Scorpio rules the 8th house. That rules death, rebirth, transformation, sex. Full moons in itself are also a time of conclusion when things can come to a head or wrap up. So with all of this, you can see that it's going to be a time that you find that a lot of profound and significant changes usually take place. It is for the highest good of yourself and other people. However, sometimes it can be rather difficult to move through, very dense and very heavy. A lot of emotions can come up at this time as well, especially if you are a water sign, so obviously Scorpio, but also Pisces and Cancer can be quite affected as well. So with that in mind, I've pulled the Numerology cards. So the theme with tonight specifically is it's time to release negativity with the full moon in Scorpio. And then with the eclipse, we have conclusions are within reach. So I will read from the book and then we'll carry on with the actual reading. As I always say, it's always good to have an intention before I start, and this will help guide you and give you more clarity and guidance on a specific area that you might need help with. Okay, so the full moon in Scorpio. If you've been feeling paranoid and acting weird, take this as a very direct message from the cosmos to stop. Worrying yourself is pointless. It's time to release any negativity you have around the situation you're asking about. If someone has been unkind to you, perhaps it's time for you to release them. This heralds an emotionally intense time since both the full moon and Scorpio themselves are both extremely intense. It's time for you to feel all your feelings. There could be some nastiness in the air when this time comes around. And if that is the case, take it as a sign to move away from anyone or anything you feel is toxic. For some, however, this has a totally different meaning. Your sex life can improve now if you make an effort. Use your magic. You have all the need inside you to bring about your desired result. To attune to the moon, emote, it's all better out than in, and additional meanings, it's time to move from living fearfully to living joyfully. You're right to have your suspicions. Grudges are toxic. Let something go. The end of an argument. The full moon in Scorpio has a sting in its tail. It can herald a vindictive end to a relationship. It can also be a time when we want to be good, but we're naughty. No matter when, your dark side and your shadow self may be showing. The full moon in Scorpio is also a time of magic. If you were thinking of making some magic, this is the sign to do it. All right, now the full moon eclipse. And just like that, a door slams shut. It suggests that the situation you're asking about is about to reach a peak or has just done so. And things are now out of your hands. What you're experiencing now is what your soul signed up for, a way for you to learn and for your soul to evolve. So allow events to unfold and be easy on yourself. If you're letting go of someone or something, know that it's the right time, as hard as it might be. Forgiving someone for what they did could likely be the key to resolving this situation in a positive way. It doesn't make it right what they did, but it releases it so you can move on. To attune to this moon, that which is meant for me will not pass me by. And additional meanings, doors which slam shut will now not reopen. It's time for you to get back on track. Forgiveness will set you free of karma. Meditation, pranayama, and yoga nidra are all recommended now. Cede control and let events unfold. Full moons are nearly always about climaxes and very often about conclusions. Full moon eclipses are the same, but on steroids. A full moon eclipse can be hard to handle because its portents change, something many of us are uncomfortable with. But change is a part of life. No matter when this time comes around, reminds you of this fact. Full moon eclipses can also give a glimpse into what Carl Jung called the shadow self. Work with your darkness. Yeah, so both cards talk about the shadow side. So Scorpios are really, and the Scorpionic energy is really good with working with that, the hidden self, the shadow self, the parts in which we hide from the outside world. But again, very transformative, very intuitive. I know a lot of Scorpios and I've had close relationships with many, and they're all very intuitive and do elicit a lot of transformation and change, and very good with working with such energies, especially when they're in their higher vibration as well. All right, so I'm going to pull an animal spirit card deck as well from the animal spirit card deck, and this will give another theme for the reading. The octopus, also water energy. You can see in the illustration around his brain, there's a lot of colors. So I do feel like, especially with this Scorpio full moon, Scorpios are a water sign, and as I said, they are very intuitive and psychic. So I feel like your crown chakra might be lighting up and you'll be getting a lot of intuitive insights. Very much so. You'll be almost like telepathy might be something that you'll find might be taking place if you are open to that. Octopus or octopi, I think that's plural, they are very extremely intelligent as well, as is Scorpios. Manipulative can be something that can be attuned to that in the lower vibration. All right, so the octopus. Reaching, yearning, lacking boundaries and direction. The octopus signifies a wonderfully perceptive mind paired with a lack of healthy boundaries. Unfortunately, this results in well-intended but messy relationships. The octopus entwines itself into other people's business and shares their own without restraint. They believe that's what it's meant to be close. If you notice after spending time with someone that you feel drained or uneasy, the essence of octopus is at play. Begin to establish healthy boundaries, be patient, firm, and it may be a very old habit to change. When in balance, interested, engaged, intelligent. When out of balance, needy, clingy, and lacks courage. To bring into balance, space to oneself, and talk therapy. Yeah, so I feel like with all of this combined, you're going to find that, again, it will be probably good to take space just because you are going to be super intuitive. What I'm also feeling as well with these two is, again, being able to really pick up on other people's energies, especially their thoughts. And with that, I think that's where that boundaries is going to need to be taken place, because you might be picking up on people's energies so much so that you're going to be taking it on as your own. So that's kind of the message that I'm getting there with that. Again, your third eye and your crown chakra are going to be very open. So a lot of the information you're going to be getting is going to be of other people. I think your intuition is going to pick up as well when people don't have good intention, or when they're trying to take advantage of you, trying to manipulate you as well. I feel like these relationships too, this is very much about, this specific full moon will be about intimate relationships. Doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but those where you are very interconnected with, especially people that you might have a psychic or intuitive connection with, or somebody that you feel closely linked to, where you do pick up a lot of their energy quite easily. Yeah, so the Five of Swords, yeah, okay. Conflict. And the Nine of Wands. Yeah. So I say a lot in my readings that I don't sugarcoat my readings. And I will make that disclaimer now, in that I'll tell you what I see, exactly how I see it. Yeah, the Hermit. Okay. A few more cards. Sorry, I'll just move the camera back so you guys can see, hopefully. Oh, that might work a bit better. Okay. I will pull the cards close to the camera too if needed. Sun card. The Chariot. The Hanged Man. That's all major arcanas. We've got 4 major arcanas here. King of Swords. Ace of Wands. Knight of Pentacles. All right. I will pull some more for clarifiers, but I'll just elaborate on what I see thus far. Okay, so with the Five of Swords opening the reading, this can be indicative of conflict and arguments. With the Nine of Wands then following that, that definitely can be especially indicative that, in the sense of Knight of Wands can be somebody who is defensive. And in the traditional tarot, you have a man who is holding on to rods like the wands, and he's got a bandage wrapped around his head, and it's after a battle or enduring a battle or a war, and even though he's bruised and battered, he is still in a defensive stance and somebody who is still ready to fight back if needed. So with the Five of Swords and the Nine of Wands combined here, to me that would be indicative of, especially with these cards, opening cards leading in that, you could experience a conflict with some person. Could even be within yourself. I do feel like you take what resonates for you specifically. If this is a conflict with another person, I feel like what the advice is, or what you will do, is with the Hermit card coming up next, the advice would be to take space, take time to yourself. Again, because I feel like you're picking up on other people's energies. Okay, so that's what it is. If you are having a falling out with somebody, they could be projecting things onto you, or you could be picking up on the energies of other people and then taking it on as your own. And then you could be projecting it out onto other people, not fully understanding how much you are actually energetically picking up on these things. So with that, I just really feel like it's good to, with the Hermit card, take time for introspection. You've got the Hanged Man here too, which usually is about changing one's perspective and being in suspension. When the Hermit and the Hangman come out in the same reading, usually it's a time of taking time to yourself, taking time to reflect and be introspective and allow yourself to be able to see things from another perspective. This usually involves time and solitude. With the Sun card here in the Chariot, I feel like there's going to be a lot of emotions that are going to come up. Truthfully speaking, very heavy ones in a conflict as well. So if it's not a conflict with another person, could most definitely be, or both, something that happens internally. And with that, I think, again, on the other side, in that you really should be taking accountability for your emotions and what you're going through, and take time to yourself so that you are not projecting these things onto other people also. And it's really about, with the Hermit coming and then the Sun coming up next to the Chariot, it's really kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel. So like, if you've ever heard of the terminology, the dark night of the soul, I actually really feel like this is what's taking place, just in a shorter time frame. Could be within a matter of days, hours, weeks. I don't feel weeks, I actually feel like days. Maybe a week or two at most. Because also I think there is a planetary movement with Pluto. I will have to confirm where exactly it's moving to, but essentially when Pluto transits out, it's the end of a 20-year cycle essentially as well. So these things that are coming up are not just things that have happened within days, weeks, months. These things are pretty much have been happening for a very, very long time. So 20 years is a long time. So this, depending on how old you are, this could be something that's even goes back as far as childhood, or at a time when you were much younger. So with that, it's very, very significant. The things that you're working through and moving through are things that you've been playing out for a long time, things that you've been holding on to for a long time. And you're moving through that. So if you've ever done like a medicine ceremony or plant medicine ceremonies, a lot of what usually takes place is what's called a purge, in that you do have to sit with these difficult things and challenging things. Not always, but generally speaking. But what happens is, once you undergo this experience, once you integrate the lessons that you've learned and you process the emotions and the things that you've gone through, you usually come out of it much more brighter and lighter, and it's almost like a very positive shift can take place. So that's where I think the Sun card comes into play. And with that, the Sun card is the most positive card in the deck. And then you've got the Chariot following that. I also feel like this could be a timing card. So the Chariot is the card for Cancer. The Sun card is the card for Leo. I did mention there are major arcanas here. So you've got the Hermit card, which is Virgo, the Sun card, which is Leo, the Chariot card, which is Cancer, and the Hangman, which is Pisces. So you could be one of these signs. So again, if you are a Scorpio, a Virgo, a Leo, Cancer, Pisces, this reading could particularly resonate for you. I do feel like this could be a timing card as well, because you've got the Chariot card, which is Cancer, which goes from June to July. Then you've got Leo, which goes from July to August. And then you've got the Hermit, which goes to August to September. So those 3 months is when this thing could take place, or when, as a timing card, this is when that particular time will be significant for you. Could also be all the way to Pisces, which is February, March. I don't see that though, but it definitely could be possible. So we could be looking at the last half of this year going into early next year. I feel like with this Hanged Man, you've then got the King of Swords, the Ace of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. It's about changing your perspective. So you'll work through these emotions. You'll be able to see something from a different view, a different light, in and amidst processing it. And you'll be able to see things more logically, more clear, instead of this distorted view that you've had based on the trauma or the energetic attachment that's been involved, or influenced your way of thinking or seeing this. It could be memories as well. And with that, that's when you'll be able to then move forward. So with the Ace of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles plus the Chariot, they're all like, the Knight of Pentacles and the Chariot are like movement. So it's about being able to move forward. I will get clarity on these ones because I want to know kind of what that might entail specifically. Page of Pentacles. I think whatever this transition is, it's not going to be something that's like after you gain this perspective, and you work through these difficult things. It's not like your life is going to change overnight. I think there's still lessons that need to kind of, these lessons that you'll learn in this way of being and seeing things is going to be slowly integrated. It'll also give you the insight on what you need to do as in your purpose, what your next step should be, where you should be moving, especially in the tangible realm. So like, if just say, for example, if you're thinking of studying or learning something new or learning about something new that you've been interested in, you'll get that light bulb moment to say, okay, this is what you should do. This is what you should learn about. This should be where your focus should be now. Yeah, Four of Wands. I see with so you've got the Knight of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands. I really feel like this is also about moving into stability as well. So it's almost like your emotional and energetic self has actually influenced your tangible, your financial security, your stability. Your very earth-like stability. So it could have affected your money. And then the Sun card again. So when you get the same card twice in a reading, that's where the emphasis is. So it's positive. The Tower. The Magician. There's a lot of major arcanas there. Okay. So, even after this massive transition, this insight that you will acquire from moving through this area, this difficult, challenging eclipse energy that we are experiencing, again, I don't see some sort of like overnight drastic change. You might not it's almost like the lessons that you learn, they'll slowly but surely be integrated into your life, into your lifestyle, into your beliefs, into your subconscious. But what I do see is so if this reading resonates for you, I always say, that's why I always record my readings, and I encourage people to go back and re-watch readings at a future date, because sometimes the readings you might not resonate with them at the time that I've recorded them or filmed them. But you might then find that, I don't know, months, years down the line that you'll look back and you'll see. I'm saying this because I feel like with the first indicator that this is a reading for you and that this is resonating for you is that the first changes that you'll notice in your life to know that you're on the right track and these changes have taken place is your tangible, earthly, financial, aspect of your life will become more stable. You'll feel a lot more stable within yourself, in your home life, with your finances. I do think this might require actual extra learning. So like academically going and doing a course, doing more learning on self-development. This is about alchemy. Why do I say that? Because with the Sun, the Tower, and the Magician, to me, it's like you're learning how to become a master manifestor. You're learning how to bring things into your life that almost seem otherworldly. Like one would say that it's almost like being able to perform miracles or being able to do the impossible, but it's not really. It's just you're energetically alchemizing to a frequency in which you're able to bring these things in, and it to the outside world or to others that are unaware, this might seem like you're pulling things out of thin air. You're able to manifest extraordinary, extravagant, significant things very easily, and you're very powerful. You become very, very powerful and positive, and you're able to turn things on its head. But I don't feel like this is something that you're going to see overnight. I think it's going to be something that's going to take a couple of months to maybe a couple of years for you to start seeing this. But when you do see it, it's where you start and where you finish is going to be such a complete polar opposite almost from this energy of dense heaviness, lower vibration, sense of lack mentality to somebody who can literally, it's almost like they can pull things out of thin air, like the magician, master manifester, really. Very, very powerful, extraordinarily powerful. I also feel like this, it's kind of like, the reference I'm getting is like with Star Wars, the Force. So both the Jedis, like, so you've got Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, they all have the Force within them, but it's how they use that. It's like you have that magic, you possess that within you. Or even like Harry Potter and Voldemort. Both are extraordinarily powerful and very, like, able to use their magic, but how they use it is completely different. And that's what I'm seeing here. You could use your powers for good or for not so good. And that's what I'm seeing with the Sun on the Tower. That's how powerful you will be. I personally believe in karma. So, like, if you are going to use your powers to harm other people or to the detriment of something or somebody else, I do believe that that will reflect back to you. So just be very mindful of how you use this newfound power within yourself. I will pull maybe 2 more cards and then we'll finish off the reading. I feel like with this reading, I just have to say again, this particular one, sit with this energy and see if it resonates. But I feel like for those who really already feel compelled, set a date. Like, let's just say, I would say, so let's just say till February of next year. Come back February of next year, watch this reading, and you'll probably find that this will make a lot more sense, or you'll see exactly how this plays out. I might go grab this deck here just to finish off. 2 more cards. What's these last 3 about? The Judgment card. Ooh. And the Sun card. So that's 3 decks of tarot, and all 3 of them I pulled the Sun card. This is the Phoenix. Phoenix is also about death and rebirth, transformation. You're coming out of this very challenging, dense, difficult cycle. Very, very, very powerful. Powerful beyond measure, in fact. Judgment card and the Sun card are, again, major arcanas. This bottom here. Judgment card can be about, I see resurrection. I feel like you're going through a death and rebirth cycle, majorly. And you're releasing up to 20 years worth of karma, trauma. And when you come out of it on the other side, you're going to be unrecognizable and extremely powerful. And I don't say things just for the sake of saying them. I tell you what I see in the cards, and whether you take that as negative or positive, what I see this is somebody who will become powerful beyond measure and almost unrecognizable, powerful to a point where they will actually have to be careful on how they use this newfound power, because this person, if this is you, can use this for the better of all and themselves, or for the not so good as well. But with the Sun card here, that is positive. It's also more Leo energy. I always felt like the Lionsgate portal has always been a really significant, prominent time. Okay, yeah, so that's what I'm getting. You've got the Sun card twice, the 8th of August, and the Magician card with the infinity symbol. So, again, it's like these changes are taking place now with the eclipse, and you're going to see the full effect of it by the 8th of August. Okay. So with that, I'm going to leave the reading with that. I'll pull 1 more Numerology card to finish the reading. And that'll be it for tonight. I'm going to take this one. I actually feel this one's... Oh, okay, wow. So you've seen that I shuffled the cards, and this, I picked up the deck, and there was 1 card that was still on the bottom, just over here. And I was told to take this one, and you've got the new moon eclipse. I can't make this shit up. If you ever doubt my abilities as a reader, you can see that I shuffle the cards and read live. So the fact that this is what you got, the full moon eclipse, the new moon eclipse, which we had an eclipse 2 weeks ago. Expect powerful change. I'm telling you, this is going to be a very powerful, significant time for the whole year. Maybe for a few years, maybe in your whole life. You'll see this as like being a turning point in your life, your whole life, a key moment. All right, guys, I hope you liked this reading. It's probably one of the most intense readings I've ever done. Live recording. I'm not surprised though, Scorpios are intense, so it's not something I'm unaccustomed to. With that, I'd love to hear your feedback, and if you want a private one-on-one reading, I'm always open, so reach out to me. And yeah, I'd love to hear how this resonates for you, if it does. All right, have a good night, guys.